Hello and welcome. This is the Goal is AFL podcast with myself, with Caleb up here. And yes, we are going to chat all things AFL. And we are going to start from the very latest game that just finished, was the Saints versus Melbourne Demons game. Man, a massive comeback from the Saints. Man, nothing to play for. The season's done for both of these teams, but they gave us possibly the best game of the entire year. Caleb, did you watch this one? I saw the last quarter. Just before we watched this, I turned it on. I saw that they were, far down, but I had a bit of time to check it out. And man, what was your overall thoughts on it before we dive in?
Well, I actually didn't get to watch this game because I was doing other stuff. And earlier in the day, I watched the Collingwood-Richmond game because I was like, out of the two games on Sunday, this will be the more interesting one. And boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, you were wrong.
I was so disappointed.
So I made you go and watch the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So I saw the full-time score on X and saw Alistair Nicholson's last 2 minutes and commentary and whatnot for Channel 7.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got to check this out and see what the shenanigans were and how big of a capitulation it was from the Demons' perspective. And the fact that they got absolutely demolished in every facet of the game for the fourth quarter is absolutely embarrassing. And honestly, you've got to give credit where credit is due. St Kilda play with desire. They play with a driven purpose of always moving the ball quickly and moving it forward. And I, again, didn't watch the whole game, but that fourth quarter was pretty special.
As you can see, the 40-86 at three-quarter time, that is a record for a AFL VFL game. Man, what a comeback. Some of the moments, like Brad Hill starting it off in the third quarter, and a couple of other ones. Jack Higgins getting a 50-meter penalty right as the Melbourne defender thought that he touched it, and then the other defender grabbed him and threw him to the ground. And it's like,
brain fade. What
are you doing? That never gets paid. Like that touch, he might have touched it, but man, that never gets paid. And then that brain fade to just give away a 50 right in that moment. And then obviously Wanganeen Millera, who possibly could be the best player in the entire league. Pay that man, the Saints. Please pay that man, because you are going to lose him if you don't pay him. So many clubs would want him. 2 goals in the last minute and a half to seal the game after a 6-6-6 violation. So St Kilda got the ball back, and then straight from the centre bounce, they kicked it, and Wanganeen Millera marked it and slotted it straight through. Any score would have done, because it was currently at that point 90-90. So any score would have done. But I mean, he could have been like Clayton Oliver earlier in the fourth, like with 3 minutes left, when he had a shot on goal and just fluffed it all the way out of bounds on the full. What a rush of blood. He had so much time. He could have straightened up, kicked a goal, but the Demons actually had chances. What was your kind of take on, Wanganeen Millera's excellence in that moment, and just the Saints finding this rhythm to be able to come back?
Well, this is what is so exciting about footy, is that very rarely is it predictable. And I never would have seen this coming. And you really have to give credit to St Kilda, because they have been one of the most poor teams in the competition this season. And yes, they're coming up against Melbourne, who haven't been too hot either. But when there's nothing to play for and you're losing by 56 points at three-quarter time, it would be so
46.
easy to 46 points. It would be so easy to down tools and just give up and go through the motions and get through without an injury. And they did not do that. They played with so much purpose, and you have to respect it. And the fact that they got just the most insane 6-6-6 violation at the end. To me, I just can't comprehend the stupidity of the Demons players to just do something such a schoolboy error. And then, to get 2 goals in the last minute, bro, is just insane. And to have balls of steel like that, mad respect.
Literally balls of Jack Steele.
Yeah, 100%.
That was a crazy finish. And, in a week that was pretty much a week of blowouts, to be honest. It wasn't a great week, I'm going to be honest. The game that we are going to talk about next, which is the unfortunate result of the Lions losing to the Gold Coast Suns. I was at this game. It was wet. It was annoying. It was damp, and I did not have a very good time at all. This was a very frustrating game to watch, and as you can tell by the worm here, we didn't really have a chance after halftime. We were down by 33 points at half, and it was just a bit of a, how you doing? Gonna rock up, maybe give a bit of an effort in the second quarter, and it just wasn't how do I describe it? The Lions just looked very listless, is what I was thinking. Like, I have a theory that yes, they didn't have to travel very far, but like their travel routine for an away game got totally broken up. You know what I mean? Like they usually, if they're playing an away game, they fly, they stay in a hotel, and they take a bus to the stadium. They train at the ground, you know, that sort of thing. Whereas they would have trained in Brisbane, they would have driven down on the day, whether it's in a bus or their own cars. You know, it kind of threw their, you know, routine off, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I understand.
and I don't know. I just think that, you know, they're pretty much solidified a top four spot most likely. And,
Mm.
you know, obviously winning the premiership last year, they probably just took their foot off the gas, especially after they blitzed them in the start of the third. It was just like, yeah, all right, well, put the cue in the rack. And as you can see by the scoreline, they kind of kicked back a little bit. You can see a little dip there, but it was pretty much smooth sailing for the Suns the whole game. And yeah, the Lions just never really came back, and it was pretty annoying because there was a bunch of Suns fans all around me, you know, screaming and yelling, and I was like, call me when you have a premiership, mate, or call me, or better yet, call me when you actually make the eight. So
Yeah.
this further solidifies my dislike for the Gold Coast Suns. Your thoughts?
Ah. Look, 66-point defeat at this stage of the season for a top four side is just inexcusable, in my opinion. I was severely disappointed watching this. I have a question for you. Where exactly were you sitting? Were you up high or down low?
Probably about halfway up the top tier. So
Yeah, okay.
pretty good aerial
Because
view.
yeah, were you out of the rain or were you getting
I
pissed
was
on
out
the
of the
whole
rain. I
time?
was out of the rain, but then I got wet walking back to my car. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Look, I was gonna say it was a wet, miserable affair
Yeah, it
from
was.
all departments.
They just couldn't get the ball. They just couldn't hold on to the ball. There was like 7 straight dropped marks in the third quarter. It was so
Yep.
frustrating. It was just insane. And some of the free kicks don't even. Yeah, I'm not even going to get started on the free kicks.
Look, I feel Brisbane just were second best in every part of their game.
Mm-hmm.
Like considering how agile and fast they like to move the
Yeah,
football, Gold Coast just did everything that the Lions do so well to them. And Matt Rao had an absolute
he
field
was
day.
amazing. Yes, Matt Rowell was
And
amazing. He's probably the only player from the Suns that I would want on the Lions. Matt Rowell, maybe Ben King.
yep. Well, actually, okay, yes, I would agree with Ben King. I'd swap
Yeah.
him out for Eric Hipwood any day.
Well,
But
actually, speaking of Hipwood, he had a decent game. I saw him move up the field a fair bit, but he was, you know, still Eric Hipwood.
yeah, absolutely. Look, it's one of those things. My dad said, every top team's allowed to have a day off,
Yeah,
and
this was their day off for sure. Nah, we lost Caleb.
oh,
We lost
frozen.
Caleb. We lost Caleb. I'm going to keep that in there.
Ah, God damn it! I say everything froze. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. What
I'll
did your
just
dad say?
again, yeah. So my dad said every team's allowed to have a day off and get absolutely pumped, but like Collingwood had a similar experience. They lost to Gold Coast last week. So Brisbane losing to Gold Coast again at People First Stadium. It's like not like surprising in the sense like this should never happen, especially considering how well Damien Harbuck has got his team operating this season. But it's just the manner in the way they lost. 66 points is just purely unacceptable. And
Yeah, it's lack of effort.
Yeah, and with games upcoming with huge importance behind them, the Lions have to make sure that they get top four, and Gold Coast have to make sure they get top eight. So the stakes for both these teams were high.
Yeah.
The Gold Coast delivered, and the Lions did not.
The Bulldogs would have definitely hated this game. The bit closest team to them, beat one of the top 2 teams. But I don't know. I don't feel that bad about it. I think that Collingwood is the prize at the next week. So I think they were just happy to get through it without injuries. I think they saw, the weather. They got blitzed at the start of the third quarter. I just think that they saw that and they were like, all right, whatever. We'll let this one go and just kind of get ready for Collingwood next week at the G on Saturday night, at the MCG, which is just insane. How big is that game going to be? Yeah, that's going to be crazy. So that was the unfortunate result there at People's First Stadium down on the Gold Coast. The other game, which was also a derby, was the Giants versus Sydney. This was a pretty good comeback by the Giants. They defeated them 102-58, and as you can see, they were down pretty heavily. They were down by 28 points at halftime, and then they roared back, I think, 9 goals in the third quarter. Very similar to Saints, actually. They scored 9 goals in the last quarter. So, few exciting quarters of football in these this round, but overall a bunch of blowouts, and it wasn't really close at the end with this one. And that's Sydney's season done.
I hate that you just said that. I was watching this game in the first half. I was cheering every Swans goal like an absolute maniac. I'm like, yes, my prediction's gonna be so right. And then at 3/4 time, I turned it off. I was like, nah, I can't stomach this anymore. And this was a game they had to win because if they're gonna make the GWS and Fremantle and the Dogs are the teams that have to miss out. And even though I was confident that the Swans were going to win a majority of their games on the home stretch, maybe losing to Brisbane, maybe losing to Geelong, but like GWS was the one they had to win.
Yeah,
they didn't, and I hate to say it, especially because I literally said it 2 weeks ago. But the Swan season is done.
Yeah, it is done. And of course, they do have a game, not next week, but a week after against Brisbane. So, they got some pretty hard competition coming up. And I think their grand final defense, so to speak, has come undone. And it's been a pretty much a season to forget. And I think Swans fans are just like, fine. Let's get it over with. Like, it's the hope that kills you, you know what I mean? So that's that game, and I think that we're going to skip through some of these other games pretty quickly because there were blowouts. Did you watch this Collingwood at Richmond game? Any thoughts from this one?
I did. Look, Richmond fans definitely have something to be proud of and can be optimistic moving forward because they do have players in their team that are halfway decent and with a little bit of coaching and training under the right coach, I think they could head in a positive direction. Look, Collingwood are just too good. They're able to, just like they're in a race car and they're able just to ride the throttle perfectly throughout the entire lap.
Yeah.
And every time Richmond, started to get on a nice run, Collingwood just instantly hit back and put them where they belong. And that's the testament of a good side is, are you able to stay in the game for 4 quarters and get the job done? The Magpies did.
Yeah, I think that's, I suppose, the defining factor between the Magpies. They haven't really gotten blown out this year, whereas obviously the Lions got blown out on Saturday. So I don't know. It depends. It's hard to make a statement about a team's season when they get blown out because the Lions, blew some teams out at the end of the year and they turned out to be okay. But we also, had a pretty bad start to the season. So I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because Collingwood haven't got blown out, they're going to win the premiership. Just hold your cards there, but they look strong in this game. So I'll they're going to stay on top of the ladder, and they're probably going to win.
Next week will be the acid test.
I think. Well, even if they lose next week, I think they're still going to win the minor premiership. So that's the game there. And then another blowout. This was the Crows by 98 points. The Crows showing that they are legit again. I think a lot of people were believing in them, but this has definitely solidified that belief. The one note that I remember from this game right at the start, Miles Bergman kicking to the other side of the ground. Like they win the tap and then he kicks in the opposite direction and Fogarty marks it. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
I did see that.
So that was the Adelaide derby. Probably one to forget, I would say, especially if you're a Port fan. In a season to forget, if you're a Port fan.
I'll tell you who won't forget it, Ken Hinkley.
Yeah, he won't. It'll be his last derby. And we also had a game down at, I believe this was Marvel Stadium as well on Saturday, which was a blowout of a Saturday, losing by 101 points. Geelong, again, flexing their muscle, and North failing again. I suppose we could spend a little bit on this game. Geelong, they just love beating up bad teams, and North just love. Well, I would say they love rolling over and getting smashed by teams, but they drew against us. Like
that's a PG version of saying that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about the North. I don't think if you're a North fan, you'd be happy about this season. Let's just say that.
No, there's no progression. The fact that they, under Alistair Clarkson and in previous seasons, have always been towards the bottom of the table. This will be, 3 seasons in a row finish 17th?
Yeah.
It's just, like, if you're in charge of a football club, how can you, what metric can you point to and be like, yes, this is the right direction that we're going in. This is positive signs for our future. Like, I look at North Melbourne, they've got good players. It's like they've put in some really good performances this season. And you're like, that's something to hang your hat on. But then just getting smashed like this. I thought the days of North Melbourne losing by 100 points or more were behind us. Clearly they're not. the Cats are one of the best in the competition.
Yeah.
Jeremy Cameron, absolute weapon, and kicking 11 goals is just
11
absolutely
goals.
insane.
Jeremy Coleman.
And the question now becomes: Is he going to kick 100 goals this season? Because it is possible
What's he
if
at?
they go deep into finals.
No, but it's got to be the Coleman's a regular season award.
Well, yes.
Yeah, but can he kick 100 total? Yeah,
can he kick 100? Because people will still run on the field if he kicks it within the season,
True.
even if it's in a grand final. That would be insane.
No way.
Yeah, he's on 69 goals right now.
Nice.
So classic 69.
Well, speaking of, I suppose the top four, I think that Geelong are going to finish in the top four, and I think we're going to do a bit of a ladder predictor at the end of this, and we're going to have a look and see who we think is going to actually make it to that top four, which I think that a couple of the teams we've just spoken about, the Lions, the Crows, Pies, Geelong, are probably going to be in that top four. Where they finish, not sure. But the next game was a blowout again, 49 points, still a blowout. Dockers defeating Eagles, West Derby. Eagles sinking lower than low, the Dockers solidifying possibly a top 8 spot. I think the two results really did. I know the Bulldogs won, but really the Dockers and the Suns control their own fate in terms of making the 8. So good win there by the Dockers. And then the next game, which we did just speak about, was a pretty big win by the Bulldogs again. Essendon's season continues to be terrible. Your prediction is out of the water. I'm very excited for our last episode where we'll see where everyone finishes and see how right you were and how wrong you were. The next game we had, which was the first game of the week, was the Hawks defeating Carlton in Sam Doherty's last game. And man, this was a pretty big round. A lot of blowouts, but that was fun. That leaves us with a ladder that looks a little bit like this. So we have Collingwood on top, Adelaide, Brisbane, Geelong, as we spoke about, and tied with Geelong there, and the same amount of points is all the way down to 7th. So 4th and 7th, bit of a logjam. What do you think when you see that ladder?
Look, Adelaide being second is mighty, mighty impressive. Definitely never would have saw that coming. But look, GWS, Hawthorn, Geelong, they're all, I think, going to make the 8. I think you're right about Fremantle and Gold Coast having to win their games in order to confirm it. And they definitely can. The teams that they've got in the run-in are certainly winnable.
Yeah.
But you look at a lot of those teams and you think, yep, I think we're going to see them in September.
Gold Coast have got Richmond and Essendon as 2 of their next 4 games. So, that's
definitely winnable.
Pretty easy, to be honest. So, this is going to be a pretty wild run home. And you got Freo there, who obviously won today. But everyone's on a bit of a winning streak. GWS won 5 in a row. Hawthorn 4 out of the last 5. Really, the only team up there that has lost 2 in a row was Collingwood. But that next game that they've got, as you can see, Collingwood-Brisbane, sheesh, that's going to be a
massive
game. Next is the obviously bottom teams, and 4 points behind the Suns who have a game in hand is the Bulldogs at 44, and then the rest: Swans, Port, Carlton, Melbourne, St Kilda, Essendon, Richmond, North, and West Coast. So not much has changed, to be honest, of the last little bit. So I think what we're going to do now, if you are willing to indulge me, is have a look at our ladder predictor. So this is the next game that is on the schedule. So you've got, we'll go through it and we'll kind of, I suppose, see what we think, maybe come to a consensus about all of this. But to me, this is a very spicy matchup. And I think that I'm going to say, I kind of dislike that I have to do it by points. But anyway, who do you think? What's your prediction?
Oh, man, I have no idea. This will be a really tight game. I'm still confident the Doggies will make the 8, so I'm going to say them.
I think it's Bulldogs because they're at home. So I'm going to tip them. And then that moves the Doggies into the 8 for that small amount of time. And then we have...
This is another big game as well.
Huge game. So this is the thing. At the end of this season, we've got a huge bunch of games. And you've got... I'm going to say... I can't tip against Adelaide.
Adelaide, they've got to win, surely.
I'm just saying, going to say that one there. Ugh, this is a bad game.
Demons will win this.
That moves Adelaide actually to the top spot, if you look at that. But obviously, with Collingwood and Brisbane still to play,
the Kings of South Australia and the country, bloody hell.
I'm going to say go for the other home team. I'm going to say Melbourne. This one, pretty obvious. Let's go.
No, the Suns will smash.
49 or whatever. I think Sydney have to win. Essendon, I think they're just...
It'll be close, but yeah, Swans will win.
They're dead. I think they're dead. Oh, game of the round. Game of the year. Matchup of the year right so far, possibly, yeah? What do you think?
Look, if I was a betting man,
Head
which I'm not,
heart.
I would. Yeah, my brain says Collingwood by 6.
This is gonna be a rough
says
watch.
Lions by 1.
This is gonna be a rough watch. Like wherever I watch this, wherever it be, at someone's house, my house, or somewhere, it's gonna be a rough time. It's not gonna be fun. No matter unless the Lions win by 50 or 60 and blitz them like we did against Geelong.
We did Geelong.
But man, it's at MCG. There's gonna be so many Pies fans. I'm gonna say Brisbane by 3. Just imagine that. Just crazy.
Yeah.
This game, which is a de facto home game, I'm gonna go with. What do you think? I'll let you pick this one. What do you reckon?
You know what? I reckon St Kilda will have a bit of momentum after just beating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I reckon they'll get over North Melbourne.
Yeah. All right. And then we have Geelong, Port Adelaide, pretty easily.
Another smash. It'll be like 100 points again.
Yeah. Freo, Carlton.
Yeah, Freo will win.
Freo. That's the thing with these teams that are desperate to win. They need to win, and they have the motivation. Now this is the next round. So this is round 22. This is a cracking game. Hawks and Pies. I think Pies will come back and possibly and bounce back. So you agree with that? If they lose, obviously, to the Lions, which they will. And then Geelong, Essendon could be another 100-point win. Let's go. How far can I go? I can only go to 81 points is the margin. Let's go Geelong. There we go. So if you look at the ladder there, that pops Brisbane down to 4th spot, or that they have yet to play. Richmond, St Kilda.
You know what? I back Richmond here.
Yeah, Richmond by set. Let's go 7.
I've enjoyed watching Richmond games far more than I've watched St Kilda games. So
Lions, easy. Lions by 20.
Yeah.
At the Gabba. Carlton, Gold Coast.
Suns will win that.
Yeah, but it's away. I don't know. I feel Carlton. I don't know. I just feel
they've got nothing to play for, bro. Harry, they had everything to play for in the middle of this season when Michael Voss was under pressure, and they still spat out poor performances. Now that their season's done, you think they're going to play good? Come on.
I just think that the Suns have
don't throw me under the bus.
I think the Suns have a slip up in here.
Nah.
You can't go chalk all the time.
No. Suns will win.
Suns will win.
Suns by 30.
By 1. Just by 1.
That's no credit. He doesn't give the Suns any credit.
Percentage. Freo versus Port. See, okay, I'm going to hold it at that too. The Carlton versus Gold Coast game. I reckon Gold Coast are going to lose that game because I just know that the Gold Coast are going to bottle it. Freo, Port. This is going to be probably... I'm going to say Port because they're playing at home and they just sometimes just win those weird games, and Freo are playing away.
You know what? You are right about them winning some weird games, but Fremantle away, that might be their opportunity to slip up. So I agree with that. Port by 20.
It's a slip-up game. It's a banana peel game. This one could also be a banana peel game, but it's Manuka Oval for the Giants. I feel that they're going to win this one pretty easily.
Where's that?
Canberra.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it's their home away from home against North Melbourne, who
don't
really have a home. So the Australian Kangaroos, as I've started calling them, not the rugby team, the footy team. Melbourne versus Western Bulldogs. I think this will be. I don't know, but the Bulldogs have to win because they always beat the teams that are below them.
Yep.
They're one of those.
Does that make them? Yeah, if they win, does that put them into the 8?
It does put them into the 8.
Just.
Only
the Hawks drop out. Oh my goodness.
The Hawks drop out. So I think I just had the Hawks losing 2 games, like 2 straight games.
Oh wow.
This one
would be insane if they dropped out of the 8.
Adelaide by I can only go up to 100, and I can go all the way to 180 points. I only go 50. Essendon, St Kilda. This is round 23, by the way, as well.
Whoa, Bombers will win that probably.
Bombers
I don't know.
This is just a
Who cares? Who cares, Harry? Who cares?
Freo,
fucking Brisbane, bottom of the barrel one.
Freo, Brisbane. This will be a good game. This will be
Busy will win.
This could be, if Freo win this, they would go up into the top 4. But I'm feeling Brisbane going to win it. I can't tip against them.
Our one and only trip to the West.
Bang, that puts Brisbane up to the top spot in the ladder. Look at that. And drops down to 3rd. The Expansion Cup 2.0. Gold Coast at home versus GWS.
Oh, that's a huge game.
That is a huge
I'll say, look, we were talking about it before with Port Adelaide being that one slip-up game for Freo. I reckon the Giants might just beat the Suns on this occasion. I don't think it'll be pushing them out of the 8, though, will it, though? The
Suns won't.
Okay, so they'll still make it.
So,
they'll make it, but that'll be the game I think they'll lose in their run-in.
I think Carlton will win this game, just quietly.
Yep.
Doesn't really matter. Hawthorn Melbourne. So this is Hawthorn suddenly being dropped out of the 8, and I think that they'll come back and they'll be like, all right, let's get serious, boys, and win by 30.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they'll come in, and then this is a huge
game. He's drop out.
And then this is a huge game, mate. There's so many big games coming out. You got Brisbane Collingwood, you got Adelaide Collingwood there, you got GWS Gold Coast, you got some of these games that must watch. I don't know what day this one is, but I got to stop and watch this game.
Look, you know what? This might actually be a bad thing if from a rest of the competition's perspective, because Collingwood have one of the most difficult runs to the finals.
Yeah, they do.
To them, that is perfect practice to get into that adrenaline pumping, high level footy, and that might give them a really good launching pad for finals. Saturday night. If Collingwood are able to win those games and then go into finals with that mentality and that confidence, wowzers. If you're a Magpies fan, you're very, very happy about that.
Saturday night.
In saying that, Adelaide will win.
Close. It's always close between Collingwood and Adelaide. It's always close. And didn't I say that I literally said in our wrap-up that Collingwood are probably going to win the minor premiership, but who knows? Who knows at this point? Because, they've got to play Brisbane and they've got to play Adelaide. So, it's going to be crazy. This is the last.
I think they'll beat Brisbane, but we'll move on.
North Richmond, North by 1. Who cares? I think that this is a foregone conclusion. Sydney Geelong, which would have been a great...
Geelong will smash them. Yeah.
Which would have been a great game, but I think Geelong will win that one, even though it's in Sydney. Western Bulldogs will probably win this one.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. West Coast, man. One win for the whole season. It's crazy.
Oh, mate, opening round. I can't wait for this game.
And then the opening round. Suns by 40.
Piss take.
Moves them up to 5th spot. They finish... not finished yet. Not yet. Not finished round 24 yet. So you got GWS St Kilda. GWS will have all to play for, so I think they'll come out blazing. So this kind of leads you to think that maybe Adelaide will be resting players. They could lose this game. What do you think? But they'll want top spot. They'll want top 2. If they're secured top 2, if they lose this game, will they drop out of the top 2? Let's see. Do you want me to go to them?
Sure.
Oh, no, they still stay top, but we'll see at the end of the round.
Look, I don't think, because after the last round of the season, you get a week off and then you play finals anyway. I don't think coaches in the modern game are that keen on resting players. I think everyone's going to be playing their strongest teams for the rest of the season, get their momentum, get the confidence going, and see what happens.
So we don't know what games are happening on what time in round 24 because they haven't decided yet. This could be the last game of the season. This one right here, Bulldogs Freo. This could be the game that decides if Freo or Bulldogs make it.
No, man, put this on Friday night.
This would be like the Collingwood Carlton game that they had at the last time of the season. Last game wasn't the last game of the season. It was the last round of the season.
Stop, Harry. You need to remember. Thursday night footy is going to be Essendon Carlton. We just know already. Essendon's going to get Thursday night footy, 100%.
Essendon Carlton. They're playing Gold Coast.
No, last game of the season. Essendon Carlton.
Yeah.
That's the AFL way. Essendon's going to get Thursday night footy. Prime time. Who's going to win this one? This game? Ooh, I reckon the Dogs will.
Yeah, Dogs. Oh, Dogs up into the finals and Freo miss out. Oh, no. Collingwood will win this. I think they'll have all to play for, moving up to 2nd spot. And Richmond versus Geelong, I think Geelong will have this. They'll, playing at the MCG, which is basically their home ground, and that pops them up to 2nd. Oh my gosh. And then Essendon Carlton. Oh, who really cares? What do you think? Essendon? Give it to them?
No, Carlton will win, but
all right. Well, that will
100% be the Thursday night footy game.
It
won't be, but it'd be so hilarious if it was.
This is going to be an amazing game with so many stakes. I think Hawks will be fighting for the 8, fighting to get into 6, 7, 8, somewhere there. The Lions.
This has Saturday night footy written all over it.
This will probably be the Saturday night game.
Yeah.
which is, it's crazy.
Yeah, the Freo Dogs one will certainly be Friday night.
Friday night.
This will be Saturday night.
Yeah.
And what's the other big one? Yeah, look, far out, man. It's going to be a crazy end of the season. But yeah, no, I'm not. The more I look at it, I shit you not, I guarantee you Essendon Carlton will be Thursday night. I'm looking at that picture. I'm like, that's Thursday night written all over it. That's an AFL stitch up once again. But yeah, that Lions game is going to be massive. Because it's at the Gabba, I think they will win. Probably by less than 10 points. It's going to be a close one.
Yeah.
But if the Hawks lose that, do they go out? Or no, they just get in right on percentage because Freo's already gone. So that might be a situation where like it could be deciding the fate of the Hawks, which would be really, really interesting.
What do you think? I'm going to say Lions by 13.
Yep.
And bang, that puts them up to top spot, the Lions. Look at that. Wow. That's going to be tight at the top.
Damn.
And you got Port Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. Matt Rowell, 3 votes.
Yeah, M. Rao, 3 votes, and that's the Brownlow for him. West Coast Sydney.
Oh, man, that's going to Nick Dacos. What a weapon.
Wow. And that's how the season finishes. Brisbane, top. Adelaide, Geelong, Collingwood, Gold Coast, GWS, Western Bulldogs, and Hawthorn. So Freo miss out once again. Man.
Look, I don't think that's how it's going to shake up. I think Collingwood will probably still finish top because they'll beat Brisbane. But the fact that the Suns get there comfortably, I think, is correct. And the fact that the Doggies just pit the Dockers to get in there, I think is also correct. I will be severely disappointed if the Dockers don't make the 8, just because when we get to finals, I always want to see the entire country involved. I don't want to see the West be excluded. Yeah. It will be disappointing if they don't make it, but out of the games that we've just gone through, I think it's likely that the Doggies are going to make it through and the Dockers will just miss out.
Then that leaves us with the finals that look like this. Qualifying final number 1 is Brisbane Collingwood. Elimination final of Hawks Suns. Whew, it's a good one. Giants Western Bulldogs. Wow. And then the second.
They hate each other too.
Yeah, the Crows versus Geelong. See who wins out of that. I'm going to go. What do you reckon? Brisbane, Collingwood?
Well, if it's Brisbane in Brisbane, 100% the Lions win.
Suns at the Sun at Gold Coast versus Hawthorn.
Look, if you remember my prediction, I did say the Suns would make the 8 and they'd get knocked out straight away. So the Hawks will win this.
All right, Hawks will win that. I feel like there's always a good away upset in the AFL first round.
It would be nice if they get the first home final at People First Stadium, though. Like their national anthem on the Gold Coast. That'd be pretty good for them. And then kick them straight out.
Just get them out. Get out of here. Giants, I think the Giants will win that if they're playing at home. I don't know. Both Bulldogs and Giants have been really flaky this year, so who knows?
I have to say Dogs, Harry.
Dogs.
I really want them to make the final. So
I think this game, I think Geelong will win this. They play so well at Adelaide Oval. I'm going to say Geelong. And that leaves us.
They also have more composure in finals, whereas Adelaide will be super nervous.
Yeah, but then I think they'll come back and win this one, the semi-final.
Oh, no.
They're not going to win. Dogs. They're not going to win. They're too good. They're going to finish in the top 4 and then they're going to lose in straight sets.
I'm trying to manifest here, Harry. Dogs, I want the Doggies to make the final.
All right, Hawks, Pies.
Oh, yeah. Collingwood will win.
It's got to be the Pies. And then, that's a heck of a preliminary final matchup there. Dogs, Lions. It's actually a pretty easy run for the Lions, if you're honest. That's why they kind of would want to finish top 4. Top spot, because you do get to play the lowest ranked team. So let's just say Brisbane. Let's just say, that's scary. I don't want to play either.
I wouldn't want to verse either of these teams on the final.
Can you imagine can you imagine if this is the way it pans out and if Collingwood make it? That's how many games? In the last 6 games of the season, the Lions and Pies play 3 times. That's crazy.
I would hate that.
And then bang, the Lions. Yes, I know, it's our podcast, so there you go. Bang, the Lions win the grand final. Back-to-back champions, Brisbane Lions. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. We will see you next week when we recap round 21. Any last words, Caleb, after we bask in the glow of the Lions winning the 2025 season?
Yeah, look, I'm just super excited to see how it all pans out. The one disappointment from the season is that it's not super close between the teams sort of like 9th to 12th. You know, you're really only looking at 9 teams all fighting for top 8 spots.
There is only
So
9
from that
spots,
perspective, it's a little bit disappointing, but overall, the teams that are within the top 9, all very much so intrigued to see how it pans out. And yes, go the Lions.
It's going to be a good final last few weeks and then finals. And then they'll do it all again next year and then we'll die. So thank you very much, Caleb, for
No worries,
for
mate.
being with me, and we'll see you guys next week.